Hi, this is Amanda Elo'esh here again with your weekly heads up, an invitation to bring more magic into your life, stepping out of the mundane and into the magic. And I'm here to celebrate week number 13. We've been through a whole season's worth of weekly inspirations, and I'm so excited. Woohoo! Celebrating. And what popped up for me was the idea of talking about the number 13 and the frequency of 13. It's kind of a special number. There are 13 moons in the year, and in my Living Wisdom School, I teach and facilitate and channel 13 different archetypes of the Divine Feminine. And why is 13 such a big number? And, if you've been around for a little while, you've probably seen a lot of superstition about the number 13, that it's an unlucky number. And I think it's actually greatly misunderstood. And that's one of the reasons that I'm talking about Oscar the Grouch. And what does Oscar the Grouch have to do with the goddess? Well, hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on that. So the number 13, like Oscar the Grouch, is very much misunderstood. And the goddess herself is very much misunderstood. And the goddess, again, 13 different faces that I teach, she shows up in many different forms across many different cultures and in our lives. She shows up in the cycles of the moon and in the richness of the earth and the fruits of the earth, and she shows up in our dream time in many, many different forms, as water, as earth, as abundance, as sensuality, as healing, as death, and many things. And one of the least popular faces, unfortunately, is the frequency 13, which represents deep transformation and frequently associated with death. And in kind of mixing all the different traditions that I've been initiated into and study, kind of borrowing a little bit of languaging from the work that I do with Martin Prechtel. He's an amazing teacher in Boled's Kitchen, and from the different practices and readings and studies that I've done, and then the direct downloads, the goddess, in her most potent and misunderstood and helpful and life-saving form for us, is actually what we would consider the trash heap or the compost heap. And our modern day trash, well, we tend to create a lot of waste that doesn't serve anything. But not too many generations ago, everything that we produced decayed again and went back to the earth. And in ideal circumstances, everything that we no longer needed to serve our survival went back in the earth and nourished the earth. It nourished the plants, it nourished our animals. And in an ideal system, an ideal ecosystem, that's the way that we survive. We're always feeding the next thing. We're not just concerned about feeding ourselves. We're recognizing that we are in a life cycle, and for us to sustain ourselves, even not just on a selfish level, to sustain ourselves, we have to keep nourishing the whole cycle and making sure that we're not dumping things into the system that can't be metabolized, that can't be used. Because then we clog things up, we take essential resources and turn them into something that's stuck in a form that can't be used by anything. And that's where we are, unfortunately, in many ways in our society. And so it's not too far to a leap in consciousness to recognize that an element that can take something we don't need anymore and turn it into something useful and life-giving is a really potent ally, and that is the goddess. That is the compost heap, that's mold, that's everything that breaks down what we no longer need and turns it into new life, turns it into the rich, fertile soil that we grow our gardens in, that turns decaying, that helps matter that's not alive anymore to decay more quickly. And unfortunately, because of our disconnection from death and the desire to pretend that that kind of dirty or unpleasant stuff doesn't happen, we've lost our respect for that element of the life cycle, and yet it's the most potent thing, really, and it's the least regarded. And so Oscar the Grouch, I'd like to think that he is a closet goddess ally, and singing his song about trash, which I'm going to try to figure out how to post on my website and add in here. Maybe at the end of this video I can add it in if I'm smart enough. This is totally DIY, all me. I've got the army, the team of me behind the scenes and in front of the camera for now. Anyway, so Oscar the Grouch is one of those hidden champions of the goddess, and that's what they have to do with each other. And so for this 13th week, I invite you to invite the number 13 and the frequency 13 into your life a little more. And how can you do that? Well, the first way is to consider things that you view as trash or unimportant or something that has no value, and reconsider the possibility that this might be an element of the divine showing up in your life to serve you in some way. Just open your mind, open your heart to it. And another way of inviting the frequency of 13 into your life is to create some space in your schedule, in your heart, and in your mind, and ask for the goddess to show up and move you, and really let your intuition guide you. Don't have a to-do list, don't have an agenda, don't feel like you need to be productive. Just be available and let the mystery unfold, because the number 13 represents chaos. It can be scary, but really what it represents is that element that's unpredictable, that keeps life going. It's that, it's the unknown. It's the all possibility that comes in, this unknown thing, unexpected. We all need that. If we don't have that, we stagnate, and stagnation is death. And so I encourage you to make yourself available for chaos, for the unexpected to happen, and embrace it. And that's, that's real basic, and it's still not even that easy, but I invite you to give it a shot. Leave your comments on my website, amandaeloesh.com, or just eloesh.com. And if you like what you've heard here today, if you like what you see on my website, sign up for the weekly heads up. Then they'll get delivered directly to your inbox, and you'll get offers and input and other tasty tidbits that I don't put anywhere else. You won't find them anywhere else. And until next week, may you remember the divine within you, especially as the number 13.
Okay. I've waited long enough, and now the time has come.
Oscar, what are you doing anyway?
What does it look like I'm doing, Bob?
Well, it looks like you're, making a mess.
I'm getting ready to sing my song, so I'm throwing out all my trash onto the sidewalk. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, I wouldn't say it's exactly beautiful, Oscar.
Well, I would. Just look at it all. What a beautiful junky mess of rotten, rusty, mangy, musty, crummy, beautiful trash. Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. If you really want to see something trashy, look at this. I have here a sneaker that's tattered and worn. It's all full of holes and the laces are torn. A gift from my mother the day I was born. I love it because it's trash. Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. Here's some more rotten stuff. I have here some newspaper, 13 months old. I've wrapped this inside it, it's smelly and old. But I wouldn't trade it for a big pot of gold. I love it because it's trash. Yes, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. Now look at this restless junk. I've a clock that won't work and then no telephone. A broken umbrella, a rusty trombone. And I am delighted to call them my own. I love them because they're trash. Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love